Hey, welcome everyone. I'm David Pritchard and got my good friend Ray Jatan here as well. And we are going to be just sharing with you about the Healy microcurrent frequency device. And just in case you don't really have a clue what we're talking about, I just want to give a background of what frequency medicine and energy is. Basically, there are two famous quantum physicists that decades and decades ago explained what we're doing now today. So it's like the future is finally here, right? So Nikola Tesla said, if you want to know the secrets to the universe, think in terms of frequency, energy, and vibration. And Albert Einstein said the future of medicine will be the medicine of frequencies. So the concept is every cell in our body has a cellular voltage. There's actually an electrical current on the cell wall, and we have trillions of cells. So every different type of cell has a different ideal frequency and vibrates at a different rate. So a skin cell, a hair cell, a heart cell, that all have a different frequency. Or as a holistic doctor we were talking to a day or two ago talked about how every organ in the body has a different frequency to it. And what we found and what's been proven in science is that if you resonate energy into your body, into these cells, at very specific frequencies, you have a positive response. So there's increased ATP production in the cell, which is the energy of the cell, and protein synthesis and amino acid transport are improved. So there's something physical that happens. And then we also know that brain waves and thoughts and emotions are also frequency. So we can affect all that positively with frequency. And that's what happens with the Healy here. So we're getting bombarded all the time with negative frequencies. There's radio waves and 5G and 4G and just everything that's just flowing around in the air and through our bodies that's affecting us many times in a negative way. So the more positive frequency we can introduce to the body, the better. And that's been done before by light, sound. In this case, we're using microcurrent and we're doing something called scalar waves, or we're doing something in quantum fields. So I'm going to have Ray share a little bit more of his story and a little more background maybe on the company and a bit about Healy. And then in just a little bit, I'll do a quick overview of what the Healy, or how we actually use the Healy so you can see it in action. So take it away, Ray.
Right on. I am so excited, you guys. You know, with what David was just telling me about with frequencies, people want to know, is this for real? And will it work for me? And can I be confident enough that I could share it with others also? So I've got a very important question that I want you to really take to heart here. And I'm going to ask it a couple times just to help it sink in. But if you could find a way to significantly impact humanity and earn revenues at the same time, would you be interested? Let me ask you one more time. If you could find a way to significantly impact humanity and earn revenues at the same time, would you be interested? This has significantly impacted my family. When I first found out about this 2.5 years ago or so, my son Titus had a major growth spurt. He grew so fast, he grew about 6 inches in 8 months. And he was trying to play soccer for high school, and the poor kid could hardly walk, let alone run. So we tried a lot of different things to fix him, spent a bunch of money, and nothing was working. And we were on our way out for vacation, and we were getting ready to pick up my best friends to go with us. And they saw him get out of the truck and they said, "Oh my gosh, we just bought this cool little device that's from Germany, and it's cleared here in the US market for chronic and acute pain, arthritis, and muscle soreness." They said, "Let's hook him up and see what it can do." They'd only had their device for about a week. And at that time, it only been in the US market for approximately 3 months. So they were still testing it out. But what they did was they hooked him up and did a scan on him for pain and stimulation category. And then they ran the vibrations for what that scan read. And 2 hours later, my son was walking normally after all that time. And my wife looks at me and she says, "We got to have one of those." And I said, "I agree. I've never seen anything like this." So we had one ordered before we ever got back to Missouri. And, my own personal issues I've had diabetes since I was 16 years old. So 36 years I've dealt with this awful disease. And I can tell you that this is the single biggest and best thing that I've done in the history of having that awful disease to reduce the amount of insulin I take significantly. I'm talking close to 40%. Now, that's going to vary for other people too, but we've seen a lot of different things happen for hormones with my daughters and neuropathy and pain. These are just from my own personal stories in me and my family. So I really wasn't looking for a business opportunity when I found this, but it turned into that. So the exciting thing for me is I pursued that and was able to retire from an industry that I've been in for 36 years, construction industry. So just to give you a little bit more background on the foundation of this company, its founders, there's two founders, Marcus Schmika, who is a quantum physicist and former monk, and then a multi-billionaire named Christian Halper. And Christian in the early 90s, my understanding is that he created a software product that identified trends in the marketplace, and he created a super hedge fund, and he sold that product and made billions of dollars. And then when he partnered up with Marcus Schmika, he allocated over $100 million just for the research and development of this product. Now, Marcus had created a company called Time Waver, and Time Waver is known for the Cadillac product of biofeedback devices. And these are devices that sit on the practitioner's desk and they plug into a computer and they have brass rods that you hold on to, and they get really specific on what it can identify in a person's body because of being able to read frequencies. Because every cell, every organ, every thought has a frequency to it. And the time waver, like I said, was the Cadillac of the industry for being able to identify that. It scanned as well as delivered frequencies. But these practitioners realized that it cost a lot for that device. That time waver device is roughly $20,000 to $40,000, depending on how you have it equipped. And it would take a lot of time and effort on the practitioner's part, as well as time and money for the client to come in as often as they needed to boost their frequencies up. It could be daily or weekly for that client to come in and get that therapy from the practitioner. So they went to Marcus and said, "We need something that we can use as an extension of our care to allow people to buy or to lease or to take home with them to keep bumping those frequencies up until their body remembers where it needed to be." So they took this to market through the practitioners back in 2017. And then after 2 years of trying to do that, they realized that the practitioners weren't the best at selling product. So they flipped it into more of the social selling arena, or some people know it as affiliate marketing or network marketing, whatever you want to call it. It's popular these days because of the situation we have with our economy and with the pandemic that we just went through. There's a lot of people that have taken their businesses online because of health reasons. And so this becomes a solution not only for our health, but also for our financial situation as well, in being able to share this device with loved ones or others that need improvement on their health to where you can earn income. So I'm going to ask that question again. If you could find a way to significantly impact humanity and earn revenues at the same time, would you be interested? And that's exactly what the Healy has done for me and my family, both for health purposes and financial purposes. So it's been a huge blessing for us. There are over 60,000 people every month looking for a side gig or to set up their own business. Over the last couple of years, because of the pandemic, our products and services have gone up 30 to 50%. I heard a statistic yesterday. I'm not sure how true it is just yet, but a lot of people unable to afford their mortgages. There's just a lot of stuff that we can't afford as well these days because of those increases in products and services. So a lot of people out there looking to create an extra side business or a side hustle. And so this might be the perfect solution, not only for your health, but also for your finances. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to turn it back over to David. David, would you share with us how the Healy operates and how simple it is to not only operate the device, but let them know about how great it is to be on a team that has so many resources to help somebody move this along fast, not only to learn about the product, but to share this product with others as well to create significant income.
Sure. Yeah, well, whether or not you're here and you're interested in learning about the whole business side of what we do, I think my story will show you that this product is just amazing, that people really, really want this. Because I first heard about Healy in May of 2020, and a friend of mine called. She is a holistic doctor out of Idaho, Dr. Corrine Allen. She called me up all excited. She had just gotten this Healy device and had only been using it for about a week with her clients, and said, she's spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in the past on frequency devices and machines and things that cost a lot of money. And this was very, very inexpensive because it's more geared towards the average person like you and me, so we can do frequencies. But she was having amazing results with her clients. So I wasn't too familiar with frequencies, but she just explained it over the phone. I bought one. I was in. And at that point, it cost me about $1,500 to buy the top of the line Healy at that point. So it's a big investment, but I believed her, I trusted her. So what I did right away, even though it took 5 weeks for my Healy to show up, because this was during the early parts of COVID, they had just opened up in the United States, and they had sold out the first day they were on the market here in the United States. That's how interested people were in this. So it took 5 weeks for me to get to my Healy, but I actually sold 14 of them before my Healy arrived. So I'd never touched one or used one, but I just shared the information, and people were like, wow, this is the coolest little device. And it really is. I found, I've done some sales type stuff in the past, and I've always been an entrepreneur, and I've never seen a product or an item that was just so interesting to people as you're about to see here. So let me give you a demonstration of how it works. So this is the Healy itself. And we're doing something called microcurrent, which means I've got these wires plugged in, and the other ends are hooked to these electrodes on my wrist. They just snap on here. And so it's conductive, and it's sending a very, very mild electrical current through the cells and water in my body. But it's doing it at very specific frequencies, which have this resonance effect. Like my background is as a piano technician, and I know that if I hold down like the C above middle C, so the damper is raised, so that strings could vibrate, but I hit the C below that really hard, those strings an octave up will start to vibrate because they share a resonant frequency. There's a pattern there that's shared, and so just the sound waves from that lower note cause the higher note to start vibrating, and that's called resonance. And the same thing happens in the body, whether you use, some people listen to YouTube videos where they have like different sound waves. But a lot of people do microcurrent. It's been proven that microcurrent is one of the best ways to deal with pain. So the Healy itself, as Ray said, is actually FDA cleared as a Class 2 medical device for pain. And over in Europe, they actually recognize it in their medical community for things like anxiety and depression and fibromyalgia. So there's a little bit as far as frequency is concerned that is being recognized by traditional medicine, but a lot of what we do is on the holistic side, and it wouldn't be necessarily recognized by the FDA, but we don't care that much because it works, right? It's great. So anyway, we have these wires in there, would run a microcurrent. I'll show you that in a second, but another cool thing we can do is unplug the wires, and we have this device called the Healy coil, and this is actually a Tesla coil. You may have heard of a Tesla coil. He would have 2 of them, and it would cause energy to transfer between them across space. Well, there's actually 2 Tesla coils in here. And when we plug these prongs in right where the wires would go, we create something called a 0 point field. and it's using something called scalar waves. So this is a lot of quantum physics. It's not that important that you understand that, but just know that this is a different way of providing frequencies. So when I put this in my pocket or clip it here to my shirt, it can change the frequency in my bioenergetic field. So those trillions of cells in our body are creating an electromagnetic field around our body. And the quantum physicists now call that the information field because it's full of frequency information. And the Healy, as well as the parent device, that time waver, has what's called a quantum sensor, where it can read the information in that field and see which frequencies are out of balance or out of whack, need some support. And that's what the Healy can do. So when we use the wires, it's doing that at the physical level through the cells. And Healy would say, just, run 3 programs a day or so of these with the wires and put space in between. Programs normally 40 to 60 minutes, so you want to put a few hours in between. But with the coil, this is much more subtle. It's about balancing that bioenergetic field, which has a result physically, internally. But you can do these back to back all day long. So I highly recommend getting this coil accessory to go with the Healy. It does cost extra, but it makes it so much more. You can do so many more frequency programs in a day. And it's super convenient because you don't have the wires. You can stick it in your pocket. So for this demonstration, I am going to plug the wires back in and show you really quick how I would run a microcurrent program. So what I do is I just turn it on and I connect to the Healy app, which is on our phone. It can be an Android or an Apple phone. So I'm going to share my screen of my phone so you can see how we control the Healy. And you'll see here, I'm already in the Healy app. And we have all these different program groups. Gold Cycle, as you can see here, has 7 different programs. Pure and Release and Care and Balance. These were designed by one of these time waver practitioners, and they're great overall balancing programs that people love to use. It's usually kind of a place where people will start with frequencies. Then we have these pain programs that are FDA cleared. We have learning programs, fitness. I love running either the performance or the strength or the stamina while I'm hiking or biking or something. And then I always try to run the regeneration afterwards. It's a really great way to do your workouts. Job and sleep programs, mental balance programs, beauty and skin, bioenergetic harmony 1, and then there's a whole second page, number 2, and you'll see this nerve harmony program here. And on the next page, sciatica nerve program. I'm going to show you in a minute how we do scans, and it'll tell you which programs are most resonant with you. And these were the 2 that came up the most for me. It was really interesting that Healy could sense the imbalances in my field, because I had numbness in this hand that I thought was permanent. And for 10 years, I had been having sciatica nerve issues on my left side, or I'd have to do all these crazy stretches just to relieve that pain and be able to walk. It was crazy. But now for 2.5 years, I've got, feeling all back in my hand. It feels normal. And I've, on the sciatica side, just only had a couple very minor flare-ups, to be completely honest, but it's like 1,000% better than it ever was. So the Healy could see that. I don't get those programs showing up anymore, or very rarely, because that's been brought back into balance. So that's really cool. So we have meridians. If you're familiar with acupuncture, these are those energy centers or energy pathways. These are the energy centers known as chakras, bioenergetic defense, bioenergetic support. I love these. These are all about keeping us young with stem cell frequencies, human growth hormone, epigenetics, if you're familiar with that term, and keeping us young and vitalized. These are detoxing programs for the body. And these are awesome as well. Digital nutrition, there's 6 pages of these. It's like having a supplement for the brain or the hair or the skin, and having all the frequency information of those vitamins and minerals and nutrients so that we can receive that nutrition digitally. We're getting the frequency information, the energy put into our cells that would be like almost like taking that internally, taking and ingesting that. I'm not saying you don't have to eat anymore, but you can get that as the form of energy, right? When you eat something and your body digests it, it turns it into energy, and we can provide that digitally here. So just to give you an example of how this would work, if I ran this brain harmony program, I just tap it. It says it'll be a 60-minute program. It's showing using the electrodes on the wrist like I have, and I hit start. And it's doing 408 hertz. I'm going to bump the intensity up. Oh, I've got it up at 50% here. Let me just make sure it's going good. Okay, get a good tight on my wrists, and make sure my skin isn't too dry there. and bump it up a little. Okay, so there we go. We have this waveform flowing. It's showing that frequency is flowing through my body. I can actually feel a tingling in my fingers right now. I can sense that energy. If I unplug one, the waveform goes away because I've interrupted the circuit. So I love showing that because it shows that my body is part of the circuit. So you'll see it's doing 871 hertz every 10 seconds. It switches to a new frequency. But what's really cool about the Healy and sets it light years ahead of a lot of other products that might be similar to this, that usually cost a lot more than this, is that it's reading my field while it provides the frequencies, and it's choosing the frequencies that I need the most. So if Ray and I and you all ran this brain harmony program at the same exact time, there's hundreds of frequencies perhaps in the program, but it selects the ones I need and it selects the ones Ray needs and the ones that you need. So we would actually end up with different frequencies. So we get the best bang for our buck, or the best application possible, which is really what makes the Healy cool. And when we show this to therapists that have used Rife machines and things like that, and when they understand how this can read the field and change the frequencies and do what we call individualized microcurrent frequencies, they instantly think that the Healy is going to cost 10 grand or more. Isn't that right, Ray? They typically think it's going to be really expensive, but you'll see it's much, 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 much less than that. We'll get into that in just a minute. But yeah, this is how you'd run a program. The other really cool thing I just want to show you quickly about the Healy is this other app called the Heal Advisor Analyze app. And this allows us to choose from all these different databases that we can do frequencies, but scan and see. So remember, we had all these programs in my Healy, the beauty and the chakras and the digital nutrition, job and mental balance, meridians and skin. Those are all there. I could scan within one of those and see which ones, which of the learning programs is the one that's most resonant with me now. But we love to do those. Go to this one called All Healy Programs, because that helps us see what our, whoops, it's got to actually connect to the Healy. Make sure it's turned on. Yep, it is. So it's going to connect to the Healy by Bluetooth. And then it's going to do a scan where it's checking to see what are the top 5 program groups of those 26 available that are most resonant with me. So once it connects here, it'll go to a screen where I can hit Start Analysis. And I just touch the screen. It's just a point of focus. It's not actually reading the fingerprint. Some people get confused by that. But you saw that blue wavy line. That means it was scanning my field. And it's showing me that the bioenergetic support programs are important. Mental balance are important. Bioenergetic harmony is important. And meridians is important, and the stimulation, which are the pain programs, are important. So I would know that I might want to go into each of these and scan in more detail and see which programs are most important for me. So for fun, I'll do the meridians one because that's more on the physical side. It might make more sense to you. What you do is you just go back here, choose yourself as the client again, go to the database and find those Healy meridians. Group 1 is what came up for me. You can see here there's 10 programs in the group. But when we do the scan, it's going to bring up the top 5. And I'll know that these are important programs for me because it came up in that master list as these are the program groups you want to focus on right now. And then these are the top 5 programs out of the 10 in this page. So it's small intestine, connective tissue, gallbladder, skin, and bladder. So what I can do is a couple things. One, I can go actions, vibrate. I'll make it a little shorter for our demo here. Hit start. And what it's doing right now is it's sending me frequencies from all 5 of these, but in the third form of frequency. I already showed you microcurrent, and I showed you using the coil. But this is just doing frequencies in the quantum field. It's called quantum entanglement. You might have heard of that. They talk about that kind of stuff in those Ant-Man movies now, right? It's all about quantum this and that. Well, it's interesting. That's a lot of that has to do with what we're doing here. Quantum entanglement at the subatomic level, sending frequencies into my field. And that blue wavy line shows it's reading me to see what I need the most. The red wavy line is the information it's sending into my field. And it's adjusting and changing and picking out what I need. So that's probably the most subtle way of doing frequencies, but it's still very effective. And then what I would do, though, is I can see that the small intestine is a really important program in the meridians. So I would simply just go back over to this other app, connect there, turn on the Healy, make sure it's turned on, connect to that Healy. Takes just a second to connect, but I'll go to that meridians program group, select the small intestine program because I know this is important for me. And this is how you can find out what's important for you. So I happen to know the meridians program is right here and small intestines right here. And it's going to be 51 minutes. I'll hit start. It's going to transfer the program over to my Healy, and then I'll just adjust the intensity and we'll go forward like that. So I'm going to let that go ahead and go. And then I do want to show really quick, though, that we have this other really cool device called a mag Healy. So if you can see me on the screen, I'm holding it up. It's this round device. And this is a newer technology that Healy has created that does magnetic fields. So the Healy is about electrical fields, and with the EMF field of the body, this is about magnetic fields and doing frequencies that way. And what's really cool about the mag Healy is you can do different programs even in the atmosphere. So you can see right now I've been running this one called Study, and you can see the lights going on the Healy, but it's creating a magnetic field in the space around me because I just have it sitting on the desk in front of me. And it actually is promoting concentration and being able to study. I love running this program when I'm working because I don't find my mind like flittering off like, oh, what was I doing? What was it? You know that feeling? When I'm running this program, I don't get that. Another one that we found is the sleep program in here. My goodness, my wife broke her arm about 6 weeks ago. And so, especially at first, she couldn't sleep for more than an hour or two, and she'd wake up just in a lot of pain. And so we found that when we run this on the sleep program, she can sleep through the night. And when we forget to turn it on or whatever, she won't sleep well. So it's really interesting to see that it actually works. It's really cool. But there's also programs in here. I'll hit cancel here. So you can see there's atmosphere programs for things like study, and you can put it in your car, children playing, pantry, eating. So it kind of creates atmospheres with frequency that are conducive to these different types of things. Here's the sleep one I was talking about. But there's also ones called water activation, where I can set this on top of my water bottle. And it's just, these are all 10-minute programs for things like vagus harmony and skin harmony, nutrition transport. Over here, I love the one called mental clarity and running that into the water. So it puts frequency in the water that you're going to drink throughout the day. It's called informing water with frequencies. There's also these programs called McMakin harmonization. Carolyn McMakin is becoming pretty famous in the area of frequencies. She developed this concept of frequency-specific microcurrent running two dual frequencies at the same time that intersect in the body and create a resonance effect. In fact, she has a book called The Resonance Effect. And so when you run these different programs, you actually have it place it on an area of the body, but it does two frequencies at the same time with this dual frequency idea. So it's really cool to have her be part of developing this. And we're really blessed to have that as part of the Mag Healy. So I just wanted to show you that other product because that'll come into play here as we go through a little bit of what the Healy costs, what it does. So I'll share my computer screen here in just a second and share all that. But Ray, is there anything else you can think of that I should have pointed out that I didn't yet while I get this set up?
There is a question in the chat that says, does the Mag Healy protect you against harmful EMFs?
Yeah, there's actually a program in there called Defense that I believe is specifically for that. What's nice is we can, in our back office with the Healy, we have nice brochures and manuals. Actually, right from within the Healy app, Colleen, you can go in there and click on them. There's both a manual, but there's also I can't remember what the other term is they use, like usage or workbook, or I can't remember, but there's two different things in there that you can click on. It'll open up and you can read descriptions of the different programs and so on. But there's also there's actually a great Mag Healy. It's called Mag Healy Scientific Basics in the back office that you can download this really big, probably 20 or 30 page long PDF where it even shows a lot of the science behind the Mag Healy, and it's really, really good. So I'll go ahead and start this. I saw there was a hand raised. Maybe you can answer that question, Ray, in the chat, or interrupt me and let me know if we need to talk about it. But I'm going to share this little presentation about the Healy editions and prices. Basically, it's important to know there's 5 different editions of the Healy, and they're at 5 different prices, but you can start at a lower edition and upgrade later to a higher one, and you don't have to get a new Healy. So the point with that is that the hardware is the same for every edition, okay? You don't have to get a new Healy if you upgrade to a higher edition. You just open up more software that you can use. So you do get a 14-day, 2-week money-back guarantee from the day you receive your Healy. So there's really no risk to try it out as long as you got to buy it. But if you change your mind and send it back within the 2 weeks, you will get all your money back. But nobody returns it. They're just so cool, and they work so well that people keep them. These are just examples of all the different Healy program groups, all the different app modules. I'm not going to get into all the details of this, but we played with the resonance module today, for instance. But there's lots of other modules that have functionality, lots of program groups. So we're just touching the surface. Realize how cool you're already seeing that the Healy is. It's 10 times cooler than that with all the different things we can do. But if you have a lower priced edition, it'll have fewer of these. And if you have a higher price, it'll have more. So for instance, these are the different editions from gold to professional. And you can see they can normally range in price from like $500 on the low end up to $4,000 on the high end. But right now they're doing 40% off on the 3 higher priced editions, the Resonance, Resonance Plus, and Professional. So here's that same chart with the 40% off. So let's just go through what the different editions mean. So these are those program groups that you saw and app modules like the Resonance module right here. So when you do the gold edition, it's kind of a starter one. It's $500 and it has 10 Healy programs, Gold Cycle, bioenergetic support, that one of those pain programs that's FDA cleared. There's something called an expert program page that's in all the editions here, as you see. It lets you work with one of the time waiver therapists, and you can get specialized programs for specific issues and diseases and stuff, or even custom programs made for you. And you can purchase that from a time waiver practitioner, and they can download it right to your Healy, and then you own it forever. The search module allows you just to search a topic, like if you want to put in diabetes, and it would tell you which frequency programs would be the ones you would use for that based on which edition you have. So if you just have the gold, it's only going to return from those 10 programs. But if you have the professional, he's got 229 programs to choose from when you do that search. So if you go gold to holistic, now you're up to about $1,000. And we've added these 5 other program groups: Bioenergetic Harmony 1 and 2, Mental Balance, and the 2 Meridian program pages. So 62 Healy programs, and then the search module. When we go to Resonance, this is an important step up because it would normally be $1,500, but now it's actually less than the holistic by $100 at $900. But now we've gone to 98 Healy programs by adding chakras, fitness. These are the rest of the pain programs, sleep, and a program group called Power of 3. But this is where we get that resonance module where I showed you how I do the scans and I can send the frequencies into the bioenergetic field through the quantum field. So this is a really big step up, and you're actually paying less money. So I would recommend starting at resonance or higher, because this is really part of what's the coolest thing about the Healys, this resonance module. If you go to Resonance Plus, now you're at 124 programs. You have deep cycle, learning, skin, but now you can do aura analysis and coaching analysis. It's like having a life coach and doing frequency work in areas, even things like business and finances and relationships and stuff. It's pretty cool. If you go to professional, okay, wait, Resonance Plus at 40% off is about $1,500 now, saving $1,000. Professional at 40% off is $2,400. So it's about $1,500 cheaper, almost $1,600, over $1,600 cheaper actually. And now you have 229 programs, but 2 of my favorite modules and program groups are this digital nutrition, like I was showing you, and that bioenergetic vitalization that's all about keeping us young. So if you can afford the professional, you should go that route. And really anyone can afford the professional, because if you think about this, if you went to a practitioner to do this type of work, an energy practitioner that had one of these time waiver devices or a Rife machine or something like that, they would charge you $100 to $150 for one session. And here you can do multiple sessions per day for you and your whole family. So it's super, super affordable. And we do offer financing right in our checkout page. If you don't feel comfortable putting that amount on a credit card, Visa or MasterCard, you can check the financing option, and it does a little bit of a verification of who you are and checks your credit with a soft pull credit report. But it does tell you right away whether or not you qualify for financing, and that can make it very, very affordable for people. The Healy coil does cost extra, about $225, but highly recommended as it lets you do a lot more programs. And when it's inconvenient to use the wires, you can use the coil and use it very discreetly, putting it in your pocket and running programs all day long. Now there's some different little bundles that Healy likes to do at different times of the year. Right now we've got these bundles. If you buy the Resonance Edition, you get something called the Soul Cycle for free. This is a separate program group that is not part of any edition. There are a few program groups like that. Soul Cycle, Natural Cycle, there's an animal set. These are ones that you have to purchase separately and add on no matter what edition you have. So the Soul Cycle normally costs a little over $300, and they're giving that for free if you buy the Resonance or higher. And if you buy the Resonance Plus or Professional, you get the Soul Cycle Plus, you get that $225 Healy coil for free. So it really is worth trying to get that coil for free. That saves you a lot of money. This is over $500 worth of stuff here they're giving free. So if you can do the Professional, you won't have to also add the coil like we normally recommend, because it's coming this month in this bundle. And this is for the month of March, as you see. Lastly, I'll just point out that you can also become a Healy World member. If you just want to be a customer and you just love using the Healy, that's fine. But if you know people, this is a great business, a great side hustle. There's a lot of kind of smarmy network marketing people out there, but with this device, it's just so interesting that it's really easy to share it with people and show it, and they go like, wow, how did the Healy know that that's what I'm dealing with? Because when it picks out those programs. So it's really cool to be promoting this really interesting technology in a business and earning commissions for referring people. And during a fast start promotion, you can earn even more commissions when you first start, and even earn a free Healy device as a new member. And we believe this is going to become a multi-billion-dollar per year network marketing company, and you have a chance to be part of that. Healy has stated that they want to see 100 million families that own a Healy around the world. Can you imagine if you had 100 million different families using this with their whole families? That's going to be hundreds of millions of people possibly every day using frequency, and that's going to make a huge impact on the world. Ray, wasn't that what you were talking about, making an impact on the world?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just say that question again, because I love this question. If you could find a way to significantly impact humanity and earn revenues at the same time, would you be interested?
Right. And we can do that with this company. We can even build a team of members all over the world. So this is the concept. You can sell the product, obviously, refer people and earn commissions. But also, if you build a team of other people that want to share Healy, you can earn overrides on that. So we're in over 50 countries. I've got members in United Kingdom and Australia and Croatia, I believe. And there's people all over the world. Mostly here in the US, and we have Canada. We're opening Mexico, I think, is that next month, Ray? I believe. Yeah, I think in April that will be officially in Mexico. So it's really cool what we're doing here. There's lots of ways we earn. Here's the prices of the Healy with the current promotions. Here's the price of the Mag Healy. I point this out for two reasons. Some people, if they say, okay, I really want to do a business, they'll do both. They'll buy the Professional and the Mag Healy and spend about $5,500, but that's a really low investment on a business. If you were like a heating and air contractor like Ray was, he had to buy a lot of equipment and supplies and trucks, and it's a lot bigger investment. And this has a lot easier return. It's pretty simple to earn back your income just by referring a few people. With me as a piano technician, I had to buy software and a computer and lots of tools and racks to hold piano actions on. And I had to pay a lot of money to learn how to do that properly. This is a much lower entry point of business, even if you were to buy both products. Most people start with the Healy, but it's not bad to do both. If you can afford it, you could do both. And remember, you can finance it all too through our financing. But another reason I point this out is because there's some really cool things going on the business side where, well, this just shows how you can earn commissions and fast start commissions and free devices during your fast start period. And then we have all these other bonuses here. I'm not going to get into all the details of that, but there's a lot of income you can earn, a lot of different ways. And here, this is what I wanted to show, that for every 2 personally referred members, you earn an extra $180 or 150 euros. Remember, our company is based out of Germany, so they talk a lot in euros. That's $180 is what they pay us. And so every 2 that buy a Resonance or above from you in the month of March, you would earn an extra 180. But right now, they're doubling that first cycle if you do it before March 15th. So if you just bring in 2 new people that either buy a Healy as a customer or a member, and it's Resonance or higher, you earn the normal commissions plus your fast start commissions plus $360. And then after that, every two would be $180 all the way to the end of the month. So there's a lot of cash there. They also are paying a Resonance Plus edition for every three referrals in the calendar month of March. But if you do three by March before March 15th, so it actually has to be by the end of business on the 14th, you earn a free Mag Healy instead of that Resonance Plus edition. So the Mag Healy, remember, is almost $3,000, and it's really cool. This Mag Healy, I love this thing. I do not want to be without this. So if you could do that, if you're a go-getter and you know some people, it's not that hard. I mean, Ray, how long did it take you? You did, like, what did you say, 6 presentations when you decided to get going on the business, and all 6 bought a Healy?
Yeah, absolutely. It was amazing. I'd never had 100% people that I had talked to want an appointment with me, for one thing. They all wanted to help somebody just to at least know what this device could do. And when I did the scan for each one of them, they said, "Okay, how did it know that? Only I would know that," they'd say. And then they would say, "Gotta have one of these things." And then to know that there was a 14-day money back guarantee, basically 14 days to use it for free or return it and get all your money back, that's unheard of. So they all wanted a device.
Yeah,
That
really,
surprised me.
it's really, really
Never
cool.
had anything. And the other thing about this is it's so unique. There's so many other things out there on the market for people to earn income with, but they're Me Too type products. And how do you distinguish yourself? And from an entrepreneur's mindset, this is unique. There's nobody else that has this like what we have it. So it gives you great opportunity to watch this thing go viral like it has for us.
Yeah. One other thing they've added as an extra special thing this quarter is if you reach more of a leadership career title called director or above for the first time, you'd have to do this by the end of March. You would earn an extra $3,000 bonus. Now, that is doable in your first month. In fact, we had at least 2 people in our team last month that did that. They had signed up, and within 1 month, less than 30 days, they had achieved this rank of director. So beyond that $3,000 bonus, that would obviously mean they earned a lot of other commissions. So that they probably made what, seven to $10,000 worth of cash by doing that in their very first month in this business. So you can see the power of what's possible here. So this is kind of interesting. This shows that if you got involved and by March 14th, just sold 3 Healys or referred 3 people that bought the professional edition, if that's all you did, 3 by March 14th, you would earn over 3,000 in cash and another 4,500 in free devices, because you'd get that free Mag Healy we talked about, and you'd also earn your Fast Start promotional device at the Resonance Plus level, and you'd make $4,500 there. So, or 4,500 worth of products, so $7,500 that you've earned in your very first couple weeks as you just did this. So, and then as that duplicates and expands, you're going to earn a lot more. Lastly, we just want to talk about the Frequency Workshop. This is the name we've given our team, Ray and I, and our downline organization. We are one of the fastest growing teams in Healy world. We have all these really extremely knowledgeable people from all these different backgrounds, which is really cool because we have a private Facebook group. So if you have questions, you can put it in there, and you'll have chiropractors and cranial sacral therapists and massage therapists and Reiki masters and people from all backgrounds that are able to answer those questions on how to use the Healy, and support each other that way. We have a private email list. We use a Telegram feed to get information out. We're building a website. We have a boards app. We have recorded trainings, live Zoom trainings like we're doing tonight to share Healy, business building trainings we do on Monday nights for the people that want to build a business. We do in-person events sometimes. So we really do a lot of support here. And it's free. About basically how you become a member of the Frequency Workshop is just to buy a Healy from someone that's in the Frequency Workshop, and you're automatically in that organizational group and have access to all of our tools that we're doing. So I think that is about it, Ray. Did I forget anything or miss anything, or was there a question that we needed to answer at all?
No, I think we've got all the questions answered. So the big thing is, do you want to come have fun with us? Let's do this together. Let's have a lot of fun like we're having. Don't miss out on this. Get back with the person that invited you to this meeting tonight. And think about that again. If you could find a way to significantly impact humanity and earn revenues at the same time, would you be interested? And who else would be interested? So thank you all for being here with us tonight. We'll see you soon.
All right. And this is recorded. We will have this loaded up to YouTube within the hour, and reach out if you want to know what that link is and share it with some other people. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.